Hello YouTubers, hello. I just thought I'd have one more look to see if I have got anything anywhere near suitable for this radio. And the nearest I got are these great big monsters here. 450 volt, 4.7 UF. All the others are just too small. The 16 volts, most of them, they're like anywhere near the ones that I can use. The others are just completely wrong values. I know I could put in probably 1000 UF, which I've got a load of, but I want to put in the right values. Now I thought, while I'm sitting at the bench, I've just gone into the bedroom, gone through all, tipped out the whole lot and gone through all of the electrolytics I have, and these are the only ones I can find that's anywhere near. I suppose I could tag them in and use them in the meantime, but 450 volts is a bit over the top. I'm sure we can get something in a bit smaller. Anyway, I thought I'd get my capacitor checker out, and it wouldn't test. There's a clue. There's the old battery, flat. If you get funny readings on an old cap, it's always a good idea to test it on a good one and see if you get the same results. You should at least get a decent reading on a good cap, shouldn't you? And I wasn't even getting a reading on a good cap, so it proved to me that the battery is flat. It's the first time I changed it on this. So our 50 UF 25 volt cap is reading 71.2 UF. Numbers speak for themselves. It's definitely way out. And something else that's confused me as well. Let's look at this radio. Do you see that? Let's just zoom in a little bit. See that yellow cap in the middle? You're going to have to take my word for it for the moment, but this end here, where I'm pointing my finger, let's get a pencil. It's much more professional, isn't it? This end here, which is connected to one of the pins, is negative, and the other end is red, which means it's positive, and it's connected to the chassis. That's confused me, that has. I would have thought that that's the wrong way around. Obviously it isn't, that's the way it's supposed to be, but to me that looks the wrong way around. And that's coming out too, because it's got a pussy bit on the end. So just thought I'd show you that. Looks like we're going to have to wait for them to come back off their holidays. Right, what we're doing is we're installing this electrolytic, which is those. This is one end of it, right? And what we're trying to do is to get the coil I made on the end of there, so we can judge the length to make the coil for the other end. That's what I'm doing now. Right, here's the, I'm trying to find where my pencil's pointing. I've lost my pencil. Oh, there it is. Right, there's the coil on the end of the piece of wire, and there's the cap. And here's the wire coming out the other end. So that's giving me a rough idea on the length. All we have to do now is remember to put the shrink-on tube in first. Right, so there's our cap with the coils on each end. All we've got to do now is try and make it fit and bend the wires and the coils on the end accordingly. And then that way we'll get it in. Before we get anywhere near any solder. Right, it's taken me about 6 to 8 minutes to get this thing in. There it is in one end, there's the coil that end, and there's the coil at that end. This is the black insulation I put on. I just got to trim that off, which I'll do after I've soldered it. Now what we've got to do is get a soldering iron in there. But this sort of thing is very fiddly. Now when I cut that, I'm going to have to make sure I cut the right piece. Otherwise I'm going to be back to square one again and have to try again. But there you go. That's in. All you've got to do now is to clean it with some alcohol again, because no doubt there's grease on there from my fingers. And then a bit of flux, bit of solder, and then clean it off after. Okie doke. And there it is, soldered in. Can you see it? There we go. And awkward, very awkward to get it in. But using the coil method, perfect. Right, this is what came out. It's a doubler, 4 UF, 50 volt, made in England. There's a surprise. And what we're going to replace it with is a 10 UF, 100 volt. And look at the size, size difference. The only problem I had was when I cut the lead for the positive side, I cut it off the wrong end. But it's not the end of the world, as you'll see when we put it in. So what we're going to do is put a coil on the negative end, which goes on a tube, and the other end we'll just wrap it round the post and solder it on there where it is. Should be straightforward enough. Right, there's the other cap installed, and from here to here I put some liquid black tape because this wire was very close to the other end of this wire going on to this pin here, because our capacitor goes to this pin, and this is wrapped around that post there. So that's our electrolytics replaced. Right, that's our parts that we said that we was going to replaced. Today it's I think it's the 22nd, it's Friday today. Is it Friday? Yes it is, it's Friday today. I won't get much more of this done now because, as I say, I've got to get something to eat. I'm on late tonight. What I need to do is to clear this bench off and then move on to the next thing I want to do. I'm not going to tell you what it is just in case I change my mind, because it's down to time. I hope I'll get round to doing what I want to do. But yeah, and then after that it's voltages, check resistors and stuff like that. But at least we can switch this on, and it's not, I hopefully, fingers crossed, that it's not going to deteriorate any further, because those caps that we just done, especially the ones near the valves and that, they were pretty bad. They were. Yeah. Okay, so when we come back to the bench, we'll tidy this lot up, and then we're looking at a switch on, and we can have a go at tweaking this trimmer and see what we get. Yeah, it's all good, isn't it? Right, I'll see you for the next instalment. This is the first time we've seen the other side of the chassis since I put in the tin can. It's not leaning over as bad as I thought it would be. Yeah. I've just come to the bench just to get a pencil, and I thought, well, we'll have another look at the chassis and stuff. I'm too tired to work on this. I didn't get finished till midnight, didn't get to bed till 2 o'clock this morning. And it probably won't be a very good shift today. So it's not the time to be working on this. So I just come to have a look, and I just thought I'd share that that is not too bad. Whichever angle you look at that, whichever side you look at that, I'm not suggesting it's dead upright, but it's not far off. I'd go along with that, from the top anyway. that's all really. I've gone a bit mad on the radio scene. I've ordered quite a few radios. They've all turned up. All 7 of them. So we're not getting sidetracked. We're still working on this. I'm well into this chassis now. I want to show you something. Hello guys, just wanted to show you this radio. It's one of 7 I think I bought on eBay. I always get carried away with these things. You see one radio after another. They're all going for very reasonable prices. But this one's probably the worst in condition. On the front it looks pretty good. We've just got these cracks on either side here. It's long wave, short wave, medium wave. But in the back, it's in a right mess. It's got none of its valves, it's all rusty. This transformer here, which is probably a choke or something to do with the speaker maybe. It just been very, very neglected. But I think this will make a nice little radio when it's put right. Looks like there's a little bit of damage on that there. I think that's the glass. A little bit of damage maybe, which could be touched up. But yeah, I thought a nice little radio. I thought what might have saved this radio is the case. It survived much better than the insides. It's been sold as a prop for drama or plays, you know, like on a stage. I think that's what this was being sold as, what it listed as. And I thought this is a sort of radio that not many people would have bidded for because of the state it's in. I thought, yeah, we'll try and save this radio because I like the case. It's very, very attractive, and also it's got all of its knobs, the glass is intact. Maybe a bit of damage on there, you know, which we spotted, which could be touched up. A bit of gold paint or something. Beautiful. And I think, we don't know, but I think it looks like we found the schematic for this as well. So that's great. It's got none of its valves. Funnily enough, it's still got its plug on. Anyway, I think this is a Regan tone A121. And this is my big bag of caps. I've been on Bitsbox and I've ordered 20 of each of the caps that they do, which should cover most of the things that we should need. Same values, different voltages, etc. Should give me a nice big range of caps to use in various radios. This lot here should last me a canny while, really should. Anyway, time to say my goodbyes. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. And please subscribe, leave a comment. Hope you enjoyed. More to come later. Okay, take care. Bye now.